Good evening, everybody. It's your girl, Miss EI, coming live with Journey with Trish, the podcast from right here in Mobile, Alabama. And I'm so super duper excited to be sitting in the building with Black Excellence. You know, you got to be to sit at the table with me. Listen, we're going to introduce everybody in just a minute, but let's go ahead and give out some disclaimers, especially tonight. Let's give out those medical and psychiatric disclaimers. I'm not here to give you any type of medical advice, any type of psychiatric advice. If you're having any type of emergency of that nature, I will defer you to your provider, your psychiatric provider, medical provider, or the ER. I'm not your provider tonight. Okay, so we're going to be talking about a very sensitive topic tonight. We're going to be talking about grief, which is very, very sensitive. And the grief is also related to the loss of a parent. So we understand if you are not in a place right now where you can sit and talk about that. But if you know somebody else who may benefit from this, please tag them, like, comment, follow, and share so we can reach as many people with this podcast as possible. So I am sitting here first with my cousin, Big Rap of Big Rap Radio.
What you mean?
In case you don't already know, I personally, I lost my parents in 2018 and 2019, 8 months apart. And Big Rap also lost his dad. How long has it been since your dad passed away?
It's been 2 years.
2 years, I thought so.
hmm
And so we were all three of us. This is CJ Lewis, by the way.
And thank you for having me on the podcast.
Thank you for coming. We were all supposed to, we scheduled this day about 2 months ago for us to all sit down on the podcast today. And we were going to talk about domestic violence. So you drive trucks out of town?
Yes, I drive trucks, but recently I just relocated back here in Mobile with
Okay.
everything that happened.
So I was calling you because you were supposed to be here for Senior Bowl. So we had set it up to where you would stay, extra day around Senior Bowl
Right.
so you could be on the podcast. So I called you just to make sure that we were still clear to be on a podcast. And that's when you told me your mom had passed away.
Yeah, my mom, she passed away, and I came back on January 5th. I was out there in Dallas, and I picked up my truck and brought it back to Mobile. And I came back January 5th, and this is the thing, everything was fine. She was fine. They just recently went to urgent care, her and my dad. Um, and the night of the 5th, going into January 6th, that's when she had her congestive heart failure. And um, from that point, from the 6th until January 17th, she was in the ICU, unconscious, you know, not responsive to anything. So January, what was it, 27th, that's when we buried her. So, I mean, it
Just happened.
just happened. Right?
Just happened. And so after you told me, I reached out to you about being on the podcast, and you told me I kind of felt like that was topic was too sensitive
Right.
for you to talk about. And so literally after, I talked to you and you text back and you said, but if you guys have an episode that has, relates to grief and how to navigate, through losing a mom, let me know. So I said, okay. And proceeded to go try to figure out who else I was going to have on the podcast to replace you. And I went to what Erica Lane calls a think tank. It's like the shower. Everything that I think of or God tells me is always in the shower. So I started taking a shower, and God was like, "Wait, what are you doing? Like, you totally missing the mark." And I'm like, "Well, what do you mean?" And so because I reached out to Tech and tried to get some insight on you, whether he felt like you'd be good for the podcast, all that kind of stuff. So I called you, texted you back, and told you. Well, I asked you first how you felt about talking about grief,
hmm
and I told you that I felt like we were supposed to pour into CJ. And you said okay. Texted you back, and you said you would come.
Right. I felt that because it was the first day we talked about domestic violence. I mean, I wanted to be in the right headspace to talk about whatever topics we talk about, and just coming off of something that fresh. I mean, I emotionally, I wasn't connecting, but Then you come back the next day and you say, hey, this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about surviving grief. And I knew then that, okay, I'm supposed to be there.
Mhm.
This is supposed to happen. Not only can it help myself, but, who knows, the audience that's also dealing with this and having questions and just processing different emotions. Maybe they can get something out of it as well.
Mhm. And I hope that everybody that needs to get something out of this is able to get something out of this tonight. I applaud you, commend you, all of those, good upbeat words for, because it's very fresh, like you said, it's very
Right.
new. And a lot of times we don't talk about it for way too long, I think, and we just kind of keep it bottled up. A lot of people don't even go out and get any counseling, won't talk to family members
Right.
about it. So I commend you for being able to talk about it, because it is a very important part of the healing process.
Right. And that's what my mom, she was a person, like, if you met her, she did not know a stranger. Um, she can go anywhere and people will spark conversations up with her. So she was very lively and a person that was easy to reach others.
Mhm.
And I believe myself and my sister, we inherited that as well. So when the opportunity came to speak on my experiences and share your guys' experiences and then share that with the audience, I felt that, this would be something to honor her and something to help myself and help, everyone that's, in tuned tonight.
So, Big Rap, we've had a lot of women that have come on and spoke about grief. So I'm glad that you're here to speak about grief from a male's point of view, because sometimes, and we talked about it before, about men, people feeling like y'all can't get depressed. You spoke on it before.
Mhm.
So tell me about the grieving process for you and how it was. Well, share it.
Well,
TJ.
this grieving process was different than, you know, uh, I had stillborn twins one time too.
Mhm.
That was a rough grief because I was so young.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it had that had affected me in a way to where even though I was like, I must have been like 23 when that happened, it still kind of robbed me of an innocence because you was thinking that a miracle would happen. Or,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
you thinking God got me. I ain't worried because that's how I am. That's how I was raised. So that weighed down on me, big weighed down on me a lot. Me losing my pops, it didn't weigh down on me because I had spent a lot of time with Pop.
Right.
Growing up and as adults, like I go down there and talk with Pop. Me and Pop had conversations. Pop, the only one asking how Big Rap doing, how your Big Rap show doing, how you doing this, and Pop was a man of God, so for him to even care about something like that was a big deal. So, but me and Pop, that's what I was going to ask you. Did you and your mother have conversations about death way before she got sick? Because me and Pop did, which I felt like prepared me in a way to where Pop said he wasn't scared to go. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Pop was
right.
more concerned about us after he gone,
Right.
and more concerned about my mama. Not even concerned about us, concerned about my mama after he was gone. But as far as himself, it was easy for me to deal with it because he made me believe that he's going somewhere else
Right. Right.
special. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I was just wondering, I was going to ask you, did y'all previously talk about death before that?
Has your mama been sick for a while, or?
No, this was it really was like an unexpected thing.
Mm-hmm.
And, the thing about death is no matter if you know or if you don't know, it's always unexpected.
It's a joke.
Right. And it's something that, you understand what permanence is once you cross that veil. Like me and my sister were discussing, we feel like it's like you almost walk into another dimension because it's the dimension that you're there with your family or that loved one that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you cross over, the absence of that personality, the void that it leaves behind, you know, and just depending on the person that person was, how big their personality is, how many lives they touched besides your own. I know that we was in the hospital, and I would have people call in on the phone. They couldn't come visit because they may have been, different places of the country, but we would have them call in, and then they would just, giving her the well wishes, giving her flowers, praying for her, scriptures, things of that nature. And you just hear the love and the support of all the people that she touched, and it's humbling at the same time. Person that you with, if it's your dad, your mom, your parents, how they are with you and how special they were to you. When you see the love that other people have, you experience that. It's a humbling thing. But we was a close knit family, so we always did all our celebrations and things together. And with me being on the road like I was, a lot of those things I missed out on. The conversation that we would have just be regular conversations, because like I said, you're not thinking about the end.
Well, see, I feel like that's what Pop prepared us, because prepared me, especially me.
Was your dad sick already?
Well, he had he was dealing with some things, but he wasn't like bedridden.
Right.
Then he got bad. It all happened in like a matter of 2 weeks. Got COVID, went bedridden, and then he was gone.
Right.
But before that, he was dealing with brain cancer, but he had that removed. And he was just going through other treatments and whatnot. So he wasn't down bad. He just couldn't. He was just wasn't strong as he was. And, he was, dealing with it, but very cohesive. Like, and get up and move around. And so, like I say, like my mom's house got a couch, and it sits in front of a big window that overlooks everything.
Right.
And me and Pop would go sit up there, and I would just go down there. And I might be coming to get something and find myself there 2 hours just sitting up talking to Pop. But in that conversation, we've had several conversations about death.
Right.
Like he always said, you can't be scared of it because it's coming for everybody. In the moment of a twinkle of an eye, you could be hit a leg on the morning.
I think I know it's a lot like that for me, because it's something that my family talked about a lot as well. To the point, and then like my dad was real like wills and making sure all his business and everything was handled. So it's something that we talked about a lot. And even me with my children now, we talk about it a lot. And I, weirdly enough, I don't know why I have like this infatuation with death, but I talk about it a lot. Like, I'll tell Tech what to play at my funeral and stuff like that. Like I'm gonna have a big white party for the repast. Like I say stuff like that all the time. So, but when it actually happened, like my dad was 81 years old, I believe, when he had his first stroke. So he had that stroke, and then he recovered from that, and then he ended up having another stroke. You really could not have told me that my daddy was not going to live to be like 150. I never expected, despite all those conversations, he still got up every day and went outside.
That's your Superman.
Yeah.
He's still your Superman.
He on the tractor, fishing, took care of him. He was my mom's primary caregiver.
Right.
And so he was just never sick. He was always strong. And that, like, one of the reasons why he survived so long was because he had such a strong heart, But I will tell you that like you talked about losing the twins, it is different with every family member, with every relationship. It was a total different, like even sometimes I never, that I can think of, I've never grieved both of my parents at the same time.
Right.
I could be in the grocery store and see some kind of groceries or food that my dad liked, and that'll spark up, some nostalgia, and I might start crying right there in the grocery store. But it's still not affecting me as far as my mom. So I never grieved them both at the same time. And even when I do, it's always totally different. At one point, I had to sit there and ask myself, well, dang, like, did I love my daddy more than I love my mom. Here's some talk. But then I realized, no, we love people differently,
Right.
and they all just they just affects you differently depending on the relationship and who they are.
Right. Um, the love that you have for, like you said, for different people, is just based off of, your interaction with them. Sometimes you got mama's boy, you got daddy's girl. Sometimes it's the opposite, or a favorite cousin or family member like that. And like I said, the personality of that person, the absence is what you miss. It's like the absence of that, you feel it, and it's very prominent.
You start feeling that the times you took it for granted too.
That's another thing about it.
Like I think about all the times I fussed at Pop for calling me at 8:00 in the morning saying, "Come on, let's go move this mattress from."
Right.
Then we go move the mattress. Then he got 2 more jobs on the day for me. But at the same time, while we was doing it, I was appreciative of the time.
Right.
It just make you think like, maybe I shouldn't have fussed at him.
Right.
But at the same time, I still went and did it and spent that time with son. Because that's what I really feel like helped me was.
And see, I'm just so glad I learned how to fuss at my daddy, because I was a daddy's girl. And anything he said, I did. Any decisions I made, I'm still going through them. Not my husband. Like I had to go through my daddy because I just needed, to me, he was the smartest man in the world. But it was wearing me out. He would call at like 10 o'clock at night. Hey, me and your mom. No, he wouldn't say, hey, your mom ain't got nothing to eat. And I'm like, so you didn't know that it wasn't nothing there to eat at 8 o'clock at night?
They like waiting till you get in the bed, till you get comfortable and everything. Like they like doing that.
I learned to say, okay, well, I guess you and my mom are gonna be eating a sandwich tonight, So it was empowering, but now I can go back and laugh at the fact that I could tell him no, and he still loved me the next day.
Yeah. Like Pop used to. Mama used to send us to the junkyard to get rid of Pop junk. And so we'll take the junk to the junkyard and then he'll be adding junk back to bring home. I said, Pop, you better put that back. We ain't bringing nothing back. We've been here too long. I'm ready to go. Woo, woo, woo. I'm calling Mama. Well, call your mama. I call Mama fussing and we fussing at him. And, don't bring that junk home. All that is memories, all that is comfort for me. Right.
And that's what I wanted you to see tonight. This is how you deal with grief.
Right.
Talking about your family members. Sometimes it's difficult but you have to keep their memories alive. And, hopefully you have so many more good memories. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't have any bad memories of my dad, because I do. We've had some real bad arguments before in the past because I wouldn't do exactly what he told me to do. But yeah, like I just hold on to those memories and do things to commemorate them too. I'm not a go to the cemetery every birthday, I feel like I already did.
Right.
I already saw them. I feel like they're with me all the time. So every once in a blue moon, I might go up to the cemetery and put flowers, but and even if I don't take flowers, I don't feel bad that I didn't take flowers.
Right.
I don't even know where I went out there during the burial and stuff, but I couldn't even tell you what Pop at. I got my granddaddy and my grandmama and my twins buried all by each other on Twin Beach. They ain't there. What's the point? I get the point. It's comforting for people, but for me, it's like we don't go to no grave. I see Pop in my dreams. I holler at him now. I sit and meditate till I get there. I might. Yeah.
Have you had? You have a dream of your mom yet?
I have not had a dream of my mom, and I've been trying. I've been trying to figure out all the stuff that y'all talk about.
Yeah, it just comes.
Secret to you.
I don't have a secret. They just, and I think they come when they know you need them to be there the most.
Right. And it's such a weird feeling when they come, cause it's funny that you said let's do this kind of podcast, because I've been listening to people that died for 20 minutes and came back to life
Mhm.
and what they seen and whatnot. But one person was describing how I felt when I first saw Pop in one of my dreams. It might have been like 6 months to a year before I dreamed about it. And I was at a family function. I was in the kitchen, and I was getting a plate of food. And I rounded the corner of the island, and Pop was sitting up there looking at me. And I remember grabbing Pop and hugging Pop and feeling this warmth of love. Like, I'm getting emotional, to be honest with you right now.
Right.
That dream make me more emotional than his death.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because I really feel like this was him. Like, and he just grabbed me up and hugged me and hugged me. And my mama was smiling. And when they say when you die, that's the feeling you feel. Like the people that come to you after death is a feeling of love.
Right.
And it's a love that you can't describe. It's the warmth you can't, because that's how, and that's the only reason I relate to it, because I had that feeling with Pop.
Right.
You know, so
And I've never had a dream. My mom was in a wheelchair. She was bedbound when she left. She was in a wheelchair for years. And my dad was bedbound before he passed away. I have never had a dream of them sick.
no,
Every time they have
no.
been walking
Right.
around just healthy. I have never had a dream when they were not whole.
Right. I
Again.
think that's the best, when you tap into your mind, that's the best part of the memories that you have of them. You want to remember them at their best
Mhm.
and not, at their final moments, because it's hard enough going on after the fact. But, when you can sit, because like with my mom, for example, it still feels like in the daytime that she's gone running errands or something like that. Now we done had the burial, the cemetery,
You
everything.
keep waiting for them to come up the driveway.
That's it.
Yeah.
In the daytime, but then when it hits nighttime and it's late and it's past the time that she should be back and she's not back. And then that's when it hits. Like since her passing, between the hours of 1 o'clock and 5 o'clock, I don't even sleep. Because that was the time that we was trying to help her. When she was having her moment, we was trying to help her, and I'm literally like blowing, CPR, doing CPR into her, as things were happening. So time from 1 to 5, I'm still trying to adjust to that now, and I know that eventually, I will, but right now, it helps because it helps when you talk to people. It helps to when you experience loss and everybody's coming to you, giving you their sympathies. Well, it helps that they have normal conversations with you too, because you don't want to just be stuck in the moment of grief, because it can be an overwhelming thing. So for your friends, your family, the people that's concerned, of course, they're going to love you, want to ask you these questions and things, but just having normal conversations kind of help with the transition.
But I found that one of the things that I don't know is unique to my family, but it was a lot of smiling, a lot of laughing. It was like, because that's another thing I used to do with Pop. This is why why I say it didn't, I was okay with him passing, because I spent so much time. Pop went to every funeral he could go to. Like, it could be in a kid somebody he ain't seen in 40, 50 years, and he want to go to, he going to the funeral, he going to the repast, he doing all that. And we going to the house, and JR got to drive, and that's what my family called me. And so I ain't got to, but ain't nobody else gonna take Pop. I'm gonna take Pop. So all these different funerals, all this death, like Pop wasn't, he knew these people that's passing, that's his age, dying from all different sicknesses. Like his generation is dying off in front of him. So I think a lot of that helped me. But during all that, Pop was always smiling.
Right.
He would be, somebody be in tears at a funeral with that, and Pop walk up to him with a big smile.
Right.
and a hug and a handshake or whatever, he's still smiling, making them smile.
Right.
And see, my dad, because he would have lived forever and ever and ever. He loved working. Like he
Right.
loved the yard. So we were at my uncle's funeral, and I looked over, and he was, kind of, he looked like he was really anxious and nervous. He was playing with a obituary. And I said, "Daddy, you okay?" And he said, I guess I'm next, huh? Because he was like the last one. It was Uncle
Right.
Clifton's funeral, and so he started to worry. And then when his different friends that are his age started to die off, he would always worry.
Right.
Was
Right.
he gonna be? But I think he worried more than anything, like you said, about my mama.
Right.
Because if something happened to him, he was so afraid of her not being taken care of.
It's what I worry about is my wife and my
Being taken care
kids.
of?
That's it.
Right.
That's the only
Right.
thing I'm worried about. Like until they good,
Mhm.
and then, even then being taken care of, but being protected.
Mhm.
Right.
And I
You
think
know
that's
what
why I
I'm saying?
went, because after my daddy passed away, like I went like just in a total rampage with a lot of things. And I believe that that's why, because I now felt like I had to protect my
Right.
mom. And
Right.
so when people were doing things that I felt like were not appropriate to my mom, I felt like I had to be him or had to be her.
Right.
So I became her protector. Like he was. That makes so much sense.
Mhm.
What?
But you just like, I think that was a reason for, I mean, probably wasn't appropriate, but I did kind of lash out at everybody. And it was when I felt like they were just kind of overlooking
Mhm.
my mom.
You feel,
Um,
let me ask you, do you feel like, and this is a question for both of y'all, do you feel like y'all inherit those traits from your parents, and kind of when your parents passed on, you just stepped into that role?
I definitely think I think I stepped more into, I do. I think I stepped into my dad's role, but in two different ways. Like
Right.
when you see me out here having events and parties and trying to pour into people, that was my mom.
Okay.
Like that's what she did all the time. But when you see me like the business side of me and making sure I got everything, that's my dad. They were two totally different people. And I think that I say all the time, like I feel like my purpose now is to make sure I do what I got to do to try to see them again.
Right.
Yeah.
So I try to be, live the way I need to, so
Well,
I can make
I
them
thought
proud.
you meant like and took up to where like now you with mama all the time and everything. Like you trying to fill in that spot. That's what I thought you meant. Like
Well,
no, cause no, my dad is a very special person. He was a very special person. Cause my mom's ain't easy to deal with.
right.
So me and my mama couldn't be together all the time
Right.
like that. Like Pop, she's ain't nothing wrong with her. You know what I'm saying? She just a woman.
Right.
But that was his woman. She
Right.
can't be mine. I don't want none of that.
Right.
Like all that fussing, and my mama do a lot of second guessing. So she had you thinking like, let's do this. Well, maybe we should. But maybe we should. But I seen on the news that maybe we shouldn't. So
Right.
let's go and do it then. Then you get ready to do it, JR, we shouldn't do it. It's a lot of that I end up spazzing out on mom about.
Right.
So I don't like if she need anything.
Mhm.
I live literally in front of my mama.
Okay.
It's probably like 300 yards in between us, but it's walking distance.
Right.
So we don't see each other a lot, and we see each other all the time, if
Right.
you can understand.
Right.
But I didn't feel the need to pick up them traits. But my patience comes from my pops. Dealing with women, and my patience with women comes from my pop.
Right.
Without a shadow of a doubt. The way he dealt with my mama and the way he loved my mama, because it was time I'd be like, Pop, what? I'll be gone. She whooping on you like that. They old parents,
Right.
but they ain't old parents, but they old school parents, Well, mama used to, back in the day, 9 times out of 10, mama was the one that was doing all the whoopings and
Right.
whooping the kids and whooping the daddy and all that. So, it was a few times I'd be like, I don't know. But then as I get older, like, that man loved my mama.
And it's
Right.
something,
You know what I'm
to know
saying?
that you're something.
And my mama loves him because no matter what, when it got time to eat, fix food, dad first.
Right.
Boom. Before the kids. Matter of fact, kids fix their own plate. Mama fix us something to make us fix our own food. Go find something in the kitchen to eat. Meanwhile, she done cook Pop 2 big hamburgers. You know, so they loved each other, and that's also part of the heartbreaking part when a parent dies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like my mom lost her best friend.
Yeah.
So
I never remember my brother at my dad's, after the funeral, after we passed or whatever. And I was walking through the hallway and he said, sis, I don't want to tell you this. But you know what they say, two people been together, for a long time. One of them go. I got so mad with him and so angry. And
when
with
one
him,
arm go, the other one finna
yeah,
go.
Right.
Nah,
but it happened. 8 months later, she was gone.
Right.
I mean, it depends on the situation. I was worried about mama, but mama, she ain't start moving and grooving. She work a lot now, which I think sucks. But like she told me, she sat around in the house all the time.
Right.
She think about him as enough as is.
Mhm.
But like I say, Pop wasn't never scared to die. Like he
Right.
wasn't never scared to go on to see his folks. His
Right.
parents passed. So
I mean, because that's supposed to be, especially when you love the Lord, you a Christian. That's the ultimate goal, is to be
Right.
able to.
and he didn't live to see none of his children pass.
Right.
So because I can only imagine what it's like to. I lost stillborns. The people that's losing the 15, 16,
Yeah.
20-year-old kids, like you, all 8 of us boys still alive, and I hate to say this, so I mean, knock on some fake wood or whatever you gotta do, but all 8 of his boys still alive, and his 2 daughters still alive. Man, we all in our 30s and 40s,
Right.
so apparently he did something right,
Right.
but
Now, what about you? Do you feel like since your mom passed, do you feel like you have to pick up some type of torch or?
Yeah, like my sister and myself. My sister, embodies like the type of person that my mom was, as far as her just taking care of house and home and doing these things, and making sure my dad eats, and we both kind of managing him, and just making sure he's okay. I think when it came to like the preparation of the funeral, the thank you cards, reaching out to people, and just with the calls and the concerns and things that were coming in, I took more of that role, uh, because I mean,
hold on, not to interrupt you, but y'all sent out thank you cards and stuff.
Yeah, send out thank you cards.
Is that customary to do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's
It comes
optional.
in, like they act. I mean, they come with, from the funeral home, they give you thank you cards to send out. Like when the guest book, people sign a guest book and put the address on the guest book.
Well,
Thank
I
you
mean,
cards.
we did it based on the people that donated, or
See?
came and helped out in any way, shape, or form. We sent them thank you cards, and
Okay,
just letting
yeah.
people, because I mean, in death, you learn to appreciate life more, and you learn to appreciate the people who were there for you in your time of loss.
Mm-hmm.
So, giving them their flowers while they're here.
Mhm.
If your loved one, if you didn't get that opportunity with your loved one to really express to them, because you thinking tomorrow's going to be another day. But, when you experience loss, and then it really makes you appreciate the people that are here, and am I spending enough time, and am I giving people their flowers? Am I doing things enough, to appreciate the people that's still here? Because one day all of us gonna have to walk down that same path. And if you have the moments that you have, making your hellos mean something, making your goodbyes mean something, or see you later. So I don't like to say goodbye, but making those moments mean something, a note, simple as a thank you note. It could mean the world to somebody. So I mean, we do it like, we've done that. I've written over 20 now, and I got to do like another 40.
No.
So
Thank you
I'm-
cards.
thank you cards, yeah.
You
That's
never
just
heard
how
of
many
a
people
thank you
that
card
reached
after?
out.
Look, I can see thank you cards for people that donated and helped.
Yeah, and that's what.
Yeah, they
thank you.
thank you cards.
That's how many people donated and helped.
Okay, well then that's
Right.
understandable. I
Right.
thought you meant like
No, some people actually get like people get flowers or people. I always thought they were for people too that signed the guest book.
this to my wife. Do not send out no thank you cards to me. None of
Thank
them.
why?
Like, oh no, I'm just joking.
Right.
I
Well,
mean, I really didn't know that. You know, for me, I rather, and I've always thought this about when I die. Let's just y'all get together and kick it and make sure if Pip's still alive, make
And
sure
she
she cooking and make sure it's peach cobbler, my favorite food,
Right.
and a big pot of chitlins at the end, just so I could be that guy at the end when I'm leaving here. Like that's how I feel. Like
I tell you, I definitely my funeral is gonna be like the dopest party you ever been to. So
Right.
make sure you don't miss it.
Okay.
You know, it might
got
be
an invite.
invitation only. It's gonna be that. I
Oh,
wish I
man.
could. I wish I could be there.
You'll
It's
have
gonna be a dope
bouncer at
party.
your funeral, huh?
It's gonna be a dope
A
party.
guest list at your
I'm gonna
funeral.
have a
Okay.
bouncer. I want a bouncer.
You
'Cause,
want a bouncer?
yeah, my
You'll kick people at your
ex-wife
funeral?
can't come. No,
Oh, man.
Lord.
and I would want it to be a big. I told my wife, my current wife, if she show up at my funeral, I need it to be a big scene.
Oh, man.
Like I needed
They
to
listen.
be
They
some.
have though. You know, we see
I
them on the
needed to
news
be
all
some
the time.
love and hip hop
Right.
going on. Get this girl up out of here because no, he didn't like you when he died. Just tell her, baby, he ain't like you when he was dead. Yeah. He ain't like you alive. He don't like you now.
Oh,
Whatever
man.
afterlife he at, he don't like you.
Man.
Now, do
Yeah,
you have
no.
any children?
No, I do not have children. I have 4 godchildren, but I
Okay.
have no children. That's another thing, you know. In death, you have a lot of regrets, a lot of things that you didn't get to do with your parents, a lot of things you didn't get to do with your children, and or things of that nature. You have a lot of regrets of what you didn't have, and I mean, now I'm on the clock. And I got one more parent left, so I'm on the clock. So
having children make you think about death in a whole different light. Like I'm so paranoid 24/7 about. Like even when I leave them with a babysitter, I think if me and their mama die while we going on this date night, like they gonna be like you think about death. If one of them get hurt in my house, I'm thinking what I'm gonna do if somebody coming in hurting one or doing like.
right.
That's not healthy. Like
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
healthy.
healthy. I'm not healthy in
Right.
that department when it comes to my children, and my wife and anybody that I feel I gotta protect.
Mhm.
Like I hate my wife going in the public spaces by herself. Like I'm so worried, and I don't know why. I'm just worried about somebody coming in there shooting, and she just.
I'm like, we got to get you a
In
therapist.
Walmart, because it can happen.
It's a lot of stuff that could happen,
Yeah.
but we shouldn't live based on the what ifs.
This man was at Walmart in Fairhope a while back, and my wife was checking out. He was fussing at customer service. He left out, came back, took a big cart of groceries, dumped it on the floor, went back outside, and I asked my wife what was she doing. Well, I was just ringing up my groceries, like.
She wasn't worried. So you're more worried than she
because
is.
she should have left every last one of them groceries and went out and got in the car and left. Because this man flipped the thing over and came back. What you waiting on?
We gotta get
What you waiting?
Nah,
I mean, am I not just to be that paranoid?
No.
Even
Schools, shoes, mass shoes.
Yeah, but you still can't work. Like you said, we all got to live here one day. So
Even
let's just
so,
live
no,
right.
but see, you thinking about your love. See, it's where a man
I
come
have
in because
children.
I feel like I should be like.
Yeah, but
But
you
you
can't
only
be
one-
there with them all the
you
time.
only one man.
That's
you know.
it.
And
But that's what I'm saying. That's
Right.
what I worry about now.
Okay, but
That's
I
what
don't
I'm
want
worried.
you to worry like that.
Right. I
That's
can't help-
overthinking.
I can't help.
Yeah, we gotta
well,
work on that.
I'm gonna touch on this, like the thing that you had with your dad, right? The
Mhm.
preparation that he gave you, right? That's what you pass on to your people.
That's what I've been trying, but they on the state from. Well, I got an 18-year-old, but 7, 6, 5.
Right.
So and of course, I've even told my oldest, Dad ain't gonna always be here,
Right.
but it's been light work. You don't lay a burden like that, like a worry like that on them too early. But
it's just like
it's one thing I think about all the time is I have visions. We ain't gonna talk about it. We ain't gonna talk about it. My children just it messes with me a lot.
And it's probably stemming from the fact that you lost 2 babies, but we're not gonna get into a counseling session.
Yeah, because that's what it's like. You can't believe that happened,
right?
Yeah, and if that could happen, anything, like what else can happen? And so you're always expecting the next, looking for that next negative, the next bad thing,
that next traumatic, like because the kids give you so much love, you almost feel like it's too good.
Right,
this is too good to be true. Like
that's anxiety, sir. See a therapist and get you some.
Is it anxiety?
That's
anxiety.
You don't want to,
and then you don't want to miss out.
PTSD too.
You don't want to miss out on all the joys. So consumed with all the fears.
Oh no! I'm not that consumed with them, but we have plenty of fun and a good time all the time.
Right.
And I don't verbalize this a lot. I only maybe to my wife a few times, and then to y'all just now. Like I don't verbalize. It's just. It's what's up here, It's up there. Y'all got me talking and things.
Yeah, we see.
But it's good. But that is the great thing about it, to talk about it, to get it out in the atmosphere, because you release that out of you. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to hold it on you. Because psychological stress can turn into physical ailments. And you don't want to just hold all of that up in your chest. You get it out of there, get it out in the atmosphere. And you take all those good moments and you put them in. That hug, as you was talking about, that warmth. Remember that when you thinking about the fear. Think about the warmth. Think about the warmth that you give them. And think about all the things that your dad passed along to you that you want to pass along to them. And just 5, 6, 7, just in increments at the ages that they are, at their understanding. It might just be a hug with your little children. Which 18-year-old might be riding around, go get that mattress, like you said.
Yeah. Because I can't wait till I can do it to my kids.
Right.
Get up, let's go.
It's like one of the most frustrating things my kids do is if I'm listening to something on the radio and they be quiet the whole time till what I want to listen to come on, then they start talking.
Right.
And I told them the other day, I can't wait till I get old and y'all got to take care of me and I get in y'all car. And as soon as your favorite song come on, I'm going to start talking about something stupid real quick on y'all. I think about the future in a positive way. I don't think about it in a negative way. But I do.
But you do think about it in a negative way.
No. I just think about what if.
Those are negative. I want you to understand, if you don't take anything else from me tonight, those are negatives. So if you're going to say positive, you can't always think about the negative things that could have, the shoulda, coulda, woulda, that might. That's worried about things you can't control, worried about things in the future. So you just got to focus on what you have control over.
And you got to believe in the power of the tongue, right? Life and death is in the power of the tongue. So whatever you think, you can put that out in action. Don't just think it in a negative way. It's thinking in a positive way. What you want your children to have, the things that you gone once you're gone, what you want them to be left with, the strength that you have, the knowledge that you have. If somebody going crazy in the shopping, in the place, hey, to get up out of there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So those are like teaching, like learning experiences.
Oh yeah. Right.
So it's
Stank. Next time I'm gonna need you to get your stuff, get out of here.
Get up out of there, because that man it's like back in the day we wouldn't have had to worry about none of this. We didn't have to worry about no. Who would have thought somebody come in Walmart and start shooting it?
Right. But I mean, here's the thing about things like that have always been happening since the beginning of the world. It's just that social media has connected us to have our eyeballs everywhere in the world at the same time. Instead of you just reading news, like we read newspapers, we use them with clean windows.
At the same time, like it's like ignorance is bliss. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so we weren't as afraid or
cocoon. We was in a
because
cocoon.
we was living. Yeah,
right. It was in a cocoon,
but it wasn't nobody. You can't tell me in the 80s people's just on the scale that is happening now.
Right.
Yeah, it might have happened, but it might one incident in a state.
Like New York,
Right.
where I
Yeah.
lived.
I mean, think
You
about all
know,
the serial killers. What was they in?
That's
The
exactly what I was
60s, the
thinking about. I was
70s,
getting
the
ready to say we had
80s,
so many serial killers
all of them.
that we had to worry about. I was
Right. You know,
thinking that same
the
thing.
milk. Remember the faces on milk cartons? Remember that?
hey,
People
remember
missing.
when they used to take you to Gafers to get your fingerprints?
Oh,
Did they do
did
that to the police? Like they
no.
take a picture and then you give a fingerprint and they put it in the records just in case
Just
you
in
got
case you got
kidnapped.
Right.
They used to do all that, man. They used to have us, but it was like kidnapping had become popular back then,
Right.
you know. But
Sex trafficking is popular now.
Right.
yeah, that's another thing I worry about. Like,
So we just got to get you to stop worrying.
I don't worry like that. Like it ain't on my mind every day.
Mm-hmm.
But it do cross my mind because people are sick. And
right. And you just got to stay prayed up, you know, with yourself, prayed up over your family, teaching your kids.
What y'all think happened in the afterlife? Do you think it's afterlife?
You're all over the place tonight.
Mean, you know,
I'm saying we talking about it.
In the afterlife, I don't think that I really believe in the afterlife. Do you believe in afterlife?
Do you think it just ends?
I think that I just go to sleep and wait for the Lord to come back and get us. So I don't really think I've been here before.
So you think there's an afterlife? If you think the Lord's coming back to get you, yeah.
Oh well, I believe what the Bible says.
You think the heaven? You think it's a heaven? You think it's a hell?
I do.
I wouldn't so say think as more so as hope. I hope that these things that we were taught was true. I hope that, you know, my loved one, my mom is somewhere with my family that's went on. I hope all of these things. Mm-hmm. I don't know for sure.
And you know, and I always say when somebody passes away that we shouldn't try to strip that hope from their loved ones, because you know the Bible actually says that we're not going to have any faces, like we're not going to know who anybody is. But yeah, I still say, you know, I'm gonna do what I gotta do so I can see my mom again. You know,
I feel like you will. You might not know, but you will know. You know what I'm saying? Like it'll be familiar vibrations, you know what I'm saying?
I hope so, but if you think about it, it would probably be too much confusion if you did know people, because you'd be like, "What? I know she ain't make it."
Yeah, you can't
I
be
know
taking the judgment.
all that stuff I ain't do. I know I should have did that.
You would be in heaven, and that's what you would think.
Yeah, bro. I'd be like, I knew I should have did that because I know she did it, and here she is.
Like you go up there,
but then people feel that way about me. People feel that way about all of us, for real, because it's always somebody that feel like you ain't worthy enough to.
This is true,
right?
And I'm sure it would be someday. That's why I said I kind of believe it won't be no faces.
Right. We gotta be like that though. That's the judgment that we place on others, you know, that we don't put on ourselves. Mm-hmm. You know, like we really, honestly, really gave ourselves an assessment. You know, we ain't gonna score ourselves fairly. We're gonna let some stuff slide. We're gonna omit
even
some
people
things.
that are hard on themselves. Or, you know, some people are really hard on themselves.
Yeah, they hard on themselves.
I'm one of them people. I don't even know. Like if I leave here tonight, I don't know which way. I don't know.
Let me tell you, if you get to that time and you see that line, you see the up elevator, you see the down elevator. You can't tell me you willingly be like, well, I don't know.
Nah, but from what I've been reading about the near death, what I've been listening to about the near death experience is like you go through it all.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something. You have this experience, right? You personally, y'all have this experience. Y'all standing there and you in heaven, right? And God gives you the opportunity to come back. You coming back?
How mangled is my body? Like, am I going to be a paraplegic? Am I coming back a vegetable?
I don't know. I'm like, I never thought of
that. First off, if I made it to heaven and he like, you can go back. I don't want to risk it. I don't want to risk it, my boy. I don't want to risk it, my boy.
I'm good.
But you know, they say it's a choice. A lot of them say it's a choice.
Right.
You coming back?
I mean, I'm looking at it like this. If you do come back, where do you come back? And then when you come back, are you going to experience the same thing again?
See, you overthinking like Big
You're
Rap
right.
over here.
Hey, I'm a
I ain't coming
Taurus.
back.
Overthinking is my
when
special.
you think about when you
Ain't
think
coming
about
back.
it, when you think about all of it, we got lucky. We done
Right.
That's
lucky
a
because we could have been born in any other situation. It didn't
Right.
matter what race, what nationality. You could have been the one that was getting sex trafficked.
Right.
You could have been like all them people didn't ask to be in them situations and didn't set themselves up. People killing. You could have been the one of them babies that just got thrown off a bridge. You could have been. It's so many different things you could have been,
Right.
and we just got the luck of the draw.
Right. So far.
So
So
far, I
far.
mean,
So far.
I ain't
know-
coming back.
Yeah.
That's the reason I'm not coming back.
Yeah.
And it's no, I don't care if I come back as a gazillionaire and he told me you're never gonna be sick, you're never gonna have any pain. If I'm standing up there with the Lord, I am not, like you said, taking the chance to come back here.
yeah, because if you can send me to heaven and I decide to come back, yeah, I'm gonna be reckless. I'm gonna be reckless.
So when y'all say coming back, are y'all coming back and reborn as another person or reborn as you? What does that mean to you?
It doesn't matter which choice he gives me.
Right.
I'm not taking it.
You good.
I'm good.
Good. Say, hey, I have crossed the finish line.
Because you
Listen.
could come. Because this thing, you could
Give me
come
my
back.
mansion.
You could be one of them people that was tortured by that one of their parents.
Or just
Or-
anything, all the stuff that's
or
going on in the world right
You
now.
could be the torturer.
Oh my gosh.
You
Y'all
could-
both
you could
overthink
be
too
the
much.
No, listen. You come
Nah,
back.
I believe your vibration is your vibration. You ain't gonna come back as if you was a high vibration.
Good person to come back as a serial killer.
Yeah, no,
Never know,
I don't
because-
believe in that.
Then
I
you
don't-
better not come
choices,
back.
The choices that you get in your second time or your third time around.
You
or
think
whatever,
somebody goes up there and
Maybe
chooses to come
different.
back as a serial killer?
We all
No,
could, let me
they
tell you.
don't.
Let me tell you how I think sometimes. We all could be the same being experiencing different multiple lives. We all come from the same place. We all going to the same place. We can all be just one being experiencing multiple lives at the same time. It's not out of the realm of possibility. So, they say God is within us. God is a part of us. God
Yeah,
is
but
us.
to be one being going through multiple experiences means like the theory of
That's where you get the omnipotence, omnipresent from. You experience everything at the same time.
But we not God. Only God can do that.
Right?
I don't
But-
want to be God. I don't want to come back. Jesus bore too much. I can't do there what he bore.
But God put himself in us too. He left us with the comforter, right? So his Holy Spirit resides within all of us. So in essence, God is all of us. We don't have his powers. We don't have his, we're not the completeness of him. All of us together.
But
You know what I'm
but we'll
saying?
still never be like
No.
Jesus was perfect. None of us will ever be perfect.
no, and
So
he
I'm
don't
not-
expect us to be perfect.
Mm-mm.
The reason why I don't think that is we're all one and having separate experiences because when you eat shrooms,
Oh my God. Let me see
I'm
what's
just
in the
saying you
bottle.
feel a
God.
different vibration.
Yeah.
Is this regular Coke?
No.
Look.
This one regular water, my dog.
You on one over here. It is 7:57.
What time
Any-
Five Guys close?
Any other questions that you would ask of me or Big Rap tonight as far as grief and navigating? I know we got way off track. like we always
Yeah. I
do.
would say for the people that are also experiencing in the moment, they experience regret. How do you navigate the regret of all the things that you could have, should have, would have, or
The reason I can't answer that question is because I took care of both of my parents, and I've always been here. Like I never moved away. I stayed here with them, and when they got sick, I took care of both of them. At one point, I was taking care of both of them, at the same time. And so that's why I always tell everybody, number one, the grief process starts at the time of birth. The time you come in this world is when you start preparing for the grieving processes by making memories, by treating them right, by doing right by them.
Spending time.
Yeah, spending time with them. So when it got to like when my dad left, like I remember sitting on the porch and telling my daughter, like, dang, I ain't never not had no daddy before. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I done had a daddy my whole life. I'm like, wait a minute. She's like, you still got it? I'm like, no. And then that day when I woke up, I'm like, I ain't got no parents.
Right.
You know? But I honestly didn't feel any. The only thing, if I'm being honest, if I had to say that I felt guilty about is the times when I was sitting in a house taking care of both of them and couldn't go nowhere, couldn't do nothing. The times when maybe he asked me to come and sit with my mom and I always had something, else to do. I wish that I would have, I became to appreciate the fact that when you a caregiver, you need somebody to give you a break, And so there was some guilt about that, but that wasn't even guilt. It was just, hindsight being 2020, I would have did that.
I don't have no guilt.
Yeah, because I was there.
Yeah, no guilt. I have no regrets. We all, you always got some regrets. I wish I had did this, but at the same time.
And I guess a regret would be different than a guilt.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a guilt at all.
Yeah. Right.
There's nothing guilty. I've never not let Pop know how much I love him.
Right.
Never like.
And then like you travel, some like people, you get older, people move away, people work on the road. So I definitely wouldn't feel any guilt about that. You still came home, on your breaks. Now, I would tell anybody, if your mom lives far away from you, you got some vacation time. Don't use all your vacation time to go to the islands. Go and spend some time with your parents. I think that a lot of times
those
when people
conversations
do feel
important.
Yeah,
They are important.
That's where guilt typically stems from. Just that you didn't spend as much time.
I called my mama the other day because I said I ain't seen my mom, and my mama, like I say, living walking distance.
Right.
I ain't seen my mama in like a week.
Right.
Let me call mama. I call mama. What you want, JR? You want what you want? What you want? I was just checking on you. Just want to make sure what's good with you. Like those conversations. And then she ended up talking me into the point I was like, okay, mom, I gotta go.
Right. Like, okay, she good.
That would be my advice would be to spend as much time because you don't know.
Right.
No man knows the time or the hour. And so because you don't take that opportunity to spend with your
That's why I spend all the time with my children and my wife. And if I go to the club, I got my wife with me. If I'm doing anything fun, I got the whole family with me, the kids and everybody with me. Like, I've been appreciating people. I've been appreciating. I appreciate my friends. I appreciate my family. I appreciate my close family, so.
Tell your family, your mom and your dad, thank you now.
Right.
Like you said, give them their flowers now. Some, especially in our generation before us, our parents, a lot of them, like we talk about generational worth, they really, really worked hard trying to make sure that we had, or they could leave or something or whatever. And so thank them for what they did and let them know you're going to be okay. If you can't leave me a thing, it's okay. You already took care of me. Right. I can take care of me. You let them go.
Thing you didn't leave me with is the memories of love.
Right.
And laughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got plenty of memories that I remember that you made me mad that I wanted to run away or whatever. I got plenty of memories. But leave me with the memories of laughter and joy. And remember when you took us to Six Flags. You took 8 boys to Six Flags.
I'm telling you, that's what gets you through. Those memories, good memories. You laugh and those bad memories, you realize we're not even as bad as you thought they were. And you find yourself laughing.
Because it's always over something stupid.
Yeah.
And even if it was a big deal, it still was stupid.
Right.
and that you got to remember with your parents, they was learning just like you learning.
Mhm.
Nobody's perfect. Your parents was learning on the fly,
Right.
just like I'm learning on the fly. Like I had to have a
Especially if you're the
conversation with
oldest
my
child.
daughter, my middle daughter today. Like I told her today, because I heard her talking to her mama the other day. Can I pretend? She was asking her mama, can I pretend this is a cigarette? You know, and I'm like, today I'm like, look, what daddy do ain't good.
Right.
This ain't right. This is bad for him. He trying to quit. Don't you ever pretend to smoke a cigarette. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, all that is just a buildup of love.
Mhm.
Cause like I tell my children, I ain't gonna never, like I tell anybody, I ain't gonna never tell you nothing wrong.
Right.
You know, but especially my children, I ain't gonna tell nothing wrong to. So all that helps me with when I get ready to leave here.
Right. Right.
And hopefully helps
Mhm.
them prepare.
So if you holding on to any type of regret over what you shoulda, coulda, woulda done, like just like we talk about
Let it
thinking
go.
about you can't go back and change, but you can
Mm.
pick
Right.
up from today and with your loved ones who are still here, you make more memories. We here now. Don't overdo it though. I'm gonna
Right,
tell you that
right.
because I know I definitely did way too much. I actually started doing it when my mom had a stroke and she got sick. My mama always said that she was gonna, when she retired, 65, she was gonna start traveling.
Right.
She had a stroke at 64 and a half.
Mm.
She never got to travel. When I tell you
She
the
shoulda did
amount
it
of
early.
money that I spent trying, like taking
Trying to-
vacations
right.
3, 4, 5 times a year. My
Right.
mama didn't get to go here, so I got to go here for my mama.
Right. Right.
Like just the amount of money. So yeah, don't overdo it. You can only like be reasonable
Right.
with what you do, but not in making up. You can't make up for lost time and lost
Right.
things.
Something you might not know. Your mama helped me through my first divorce.
Mm.
Your mama helped me through the loss.
My mama,
The
stuff
loss
that I've
of
never
my
known.
twins.
People always coming to tell me my mama didn't help
The
me.
loss of my twins, and it just in church. Like I was a grown man, and your mama was sitting in church holding me. Like me and your mama had got super duper close before she got ill. We had got like I didn't even know. It I'm getting a little emotional thinking about her.
I'm
'cause
telling you, it is
was
the crazy. It's the weird, and I like
Yeah.
stories that I did, and I'm just so glad that people got to share.
Miss
Right.
Inez
My
was
mama.
everything, and she kept it so real with you.
No
Right.
filter at
It
all.
might hurt your feelings because you might see Inez coming off granite porch, and Inez might say something crazy
Right.
to you real quick, and then just give you all that love. Like,
Right.
man, me and you, we don't realize how blessed we really are.
Right.
We are very blessed
The
with
fact
the
that
people.
y'all here, y'all are doing this, sharing this podcast with people, talking about y'all experiences. Y'all are family.
Mhm.
Y'all got experiences that y'all have shared. Him having that moment with your mom, and you
Mhm.
having moments with his family. I mean, it just goes to show, honor the people while they're here. Time is finite. It's
Mhm.
not renewable. Love on people while they're here. Make your hellos mean something. Make your goodbyes mean something. Because when it's gone, then you got to do it with the people that's left.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And you might not want to love on them.
And grief never ends, as you can
No, it
see.
don't.
Yeah.
The grief
It
never
ends.
ever
You just learn to
ends.
deal with it
Yeah.
in different ways.
In
like,
different ways. And one of them is by talking about it and not keeping
and
it
another one
bottled
is
up.
by taking some shrooms and getting to
No,
that
oh
level.
my God.
Oh,
Listen,
wait.
it
Disclaimer.
is yes.
What you
8:07 and somebody been yawning since like 3 o'clock this morning. So we're
Okay,
gonna
then.
let them get home and get in the bed. Listen, I will not be here next week. Next week is Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday. So
Next
we won't
week
be
is Fat Tuesday?
Fat
It
Tuesday is
is.
next week. So we will not be here next Tuesday. And then I won't be here actually for a minute. Like you gonna run the podcast?
If you need me to,
You and
I
Shemaya?
got you.
See if we
Yeah,
can set
I got
something
you.
up. You and Shemaya. It won't be that first week because me and
Okay,
Shemaya will be gone, but
Me
we'll
and
set something
Shemaya
up.
go super hard.
I already know.
Yeah.
know. But thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you for coming on Journey with Trish tonight.
I appreciate being here. It's such a fun time.
And we did this episode tonight in honor of your mom. Tell me your mom's name.
Barbara Lewis is her name. And, she's a Leo. She's an August Leo, August 5th. Her and my uncle were born on the same day, 1 year apart. So, you say you got twins. Well, they twins.
They twins.
Took them a year.
Hey, man, can I shout out Pop Lad, man? It's September 8th he was born. My little boy born September 7th. So it's just, it all stick together, man.
Yeah, man.
It's all glue. It's all glue.
And of course, my parents, James and Inez Stats, aka Aunt Baby,
AKA Sister Stiles.
Sister Stats. Thank you for everything you did for me. Thank you for everything you instilled. Mom, I'm telling you, if I could just fill just a half of one of your shoes, I think I'd be doing a good job. But listen, we're gonna go. We're gonna go ahead and pray us out, and then we're gonna head to the house so somebody can go to sleep because I got some rest today. You got some rest today?
I did.
You got some rest today?
But
Man,
I'm
I
fat
sleep.
boy.
I'm a truck
You don't
driver.
I need a cupcake and a hamburger.
Okay. Hey,
And a hamburger. He going to.
Flower Girl. Go there.
All right, here we go. Here we go. All hearts and minds are clear. Father God, in the name of Jesus, God, we thank you for bringing us together tonight. God, we thank you for this setting. God, we thank you for the people that you brought together. We thank you for giving us the opportunity to pour into CJ tonight. God, we know that everything that we go through and that it's for a purpose. And our purpose tonight was to come back and share our journey and our experiences. So hopefully we can make it a little bit lighter, a little bit easier for CJ and anybody else out there that's watching, anybody that is going through grief. We ask that you would touch them. We ask that you would heal them through the grieving process. God, we know you to be faithful, and we thank you and praise you for everything you do. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
The next time I see y'all, I'm going to be fine as wine, baby. Good night.
She gonna be a cyborg.